I hope you had a good day and a good week. Sorry, this video is also going to be soft-spoken. I've been doing a lot of soft-spoken lately, but I feel like it's more appropriate for the videos I've been doing just because they've been reading and kind of book related. They haven't been very, I feel like more relaxing is the vibe, I suppose. Anyway, I have the camera flipped, so I'm sorry I'm like looking over here when I should be looking over here. It's just, bear with me with that. It didn't really work with the camera flipped the other way with the weird setup that I have, so if you like this location, let me know. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I'm just sitting on the floor, my little floor cushion in front of my bookshelf, which I may or may not include a clip of me showing it. We'll see. I might not, because I do intend to do a room tour and then you'll really see everything. But anyway, this isn't my full book collection that I'll be showing you because I do have a lot of books at my parents' house. The thing is, the majority of the books at my parents' house are like children's books and things like that, although I do have quite a few. Like all my whole Sailor Moon and like Tokyo Mew Mew manga collection, which I love, are still in my childhood bedroom. And yeah, I have a couple other books that are more mature that I do like that are at my parents' house, but for the most part it's mainly my like childhood books and like the younger books that are for a younger demographic, I suppose. So I would say that the books I have here at my apartment are a lot more indicative of the types of books that I read now, and I have a lot of my favorites here. And yeah, so I just want to show you the book collection that I have here, and I feel like that would be a good I don't know, overview of what I like, and then you guys can give me suggestions and whatnot. I'm gonna be checking books out from the public library where I live because I want to know that I like a book before I buy it. Not that I'm in the position to be buying a bunch of books right now, but I like to make a list so I can keep an eye out for like sales and stuff. And yeah, so start with the bottom shelf. Which is funny, I actually have a couple bottles down here. Bottom shelf. I don't know, I just have this really cute decanter bottle that I thrifted, like Japanese themed. And then this still unfinished bottle of tequila. But I feel like the angel really matches my aesthetic. I have like my gold mirror that I thrifted in the background as well. Usually this chair is in this corner, but I had to move it out of my way. And then I have like a shelf of necklaces and stuff over there. So mini room tour for this corner of my room. Alright. At the bottom, I have some of my taller books that don't fit on the other shelves. So I've got like this Junji Ito art book, which I love. If you guys want me to make a whole Junji Ito focus video, let me know, because you might be able to tell that I have a lot of Junji Ito books on this shelf right here. This would be on that shelf if it fit, but it doesn't, so. I also have more actually at home. I didn't bring all of my Junji Ito books, and I'm also far from having like every single book that he's made. I brought the ones that fit my red, black, and white theme. I should have brought Black Paradox, that one also fits, but I didn't bring it, but I'll grab it another time. I have this, ooh, I like this one a lot, Japanese yokai book. I've actually got a couple yokai books because that is one of my like fixations, I suppose. I I just find Japanese mythology really interesting. So, Japanese yokai and other supernatural beings. It's got cool illustrations in it. I really like it. So yeah, I do have a good amount of I suppose like Asian related, if that's the word for it. You'll see when I show you a couple of the books I have in this little thing down here. I also got a couple, what do you call them, photo frames that I don't have pictures to put in yet. Like I haven't printed out my photos. So they're just kind of like tucked with my books. I have my florography book, which I have. That's loud. Okay. As I was saying, this florography book, I traced some flowers and whatnot from this book in a video. But yeah, illustrated guide to the Victorian language of flowers. Love. I have a couple flower related books. So you'll see that as well. And also just plant related books in general. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to cause everything. I have some notebooks tucked in the corner that I like use for my college classes. They're like actual books with my stuff in them. Cool. This is the little basket that I have. I used to have this basket in my like desk cubby in my old room, and then I had it under my desk in this room before I finally put it on my bookshelf. I have this cute little thing on it. It's a little like goat that I got at a Ren fair, actually, at the petting zoo. Okay, let me back up a bit. So I kind of put my more orangey colored books in here, if that makes sense. Like there's kind of an orange khaki brown vibe going on, and these are ones that I don't like reach for super often. So I've got like a Reader's Digest. I actually have a couple Reader's Digest books. They're, I feel like, pretty common to find when you're thrifting books. I have another one at home, but yeah, this one has volumes one. This is volume 1, 1975, which is crazy. First volume of Reader's Digest. But yeah, so there's a couple different books in here, which is really cool. I like this one a lot. I can't remember where I got this. I probably just thrifted it. Some of the old books I have were from my grandmother. This one I know I thrifted. The Garden of the Heart. I got it at one of those library sales, which I recommend checking out. I have library cards to a couple different libraries in my state, and all of the ones that I've been to usually have a little sale section in the front of like old books, and you can get them for like pretty cheap. Yeah, so this one is like poetry. Really cute, really old pages and everything. So this is one of those older books that I was talking about. Oh, there's a little note in it. This little thing says 1930 on it, actually. It's definitely aged. It has like the yellowing orange pages. But yeah, I like this one a lot. A big portion of the books that I have are poetry books. I I've got this old physics book. I remember I brought this with me to one of my physics finals just for shits and giggles because you're allowed to bring books. I was like, yeah, you think this book from, I think this is like the 1930s or 40s. I'm like, you think this will be good? Not on a modern physics exam. But I mean, it's got some basic stuff in here. Cool little overview. I have another physics book on my top shelf. Okay, put this one down here. well, I'm not a physics major anymore. I switched it to a minor. Might drop that, but I am an astronomy major. And so I take a lot of physics classes regardless. So yeah, it's definitely a big thing that I work on. Oh, maybe something spilled on my shelf, because a lot of these have like water damage on top. I didn't even realize that water got on these books. My cats probably they've knocked down some of my water dishes with like plants in them, so I think they did that and I just didn't even realize. But this is, yeah, because this was like brand new and now it's like dirty. My edition of Animal Farm in 1984 by George Orwell, and they're both in here, which is really cool. I love this. Oh, it was like $20 at a used bookstore, but love it. I love a hardcover, so that's one thing. If I'm trying to buy a book, I will typically go for the hardcover. I don't know, it's very rarely that I will go for a soft cover. Shit, yes, there's some water damage on the back of this one. Or something. This is another, like, yokai book. Strange Tales and Ghost Tales from Japan. Love this one. I had this, like, underneath my pillow at my old place. And I would just, like, read a story or two at night before I go to bed. Because they're really short. I mean, like I said, there's 99 stories in here. Like, they're not very long. So, very cool. I like that there's some, like, there's, like, picture pages in the middle as well. Love it when a book has those. Let's see. See, The Great Wonders of China. So this is what I mean by, like, I have some, like, Asian-related books, because I also have some books on Buddhism. I just think it's interesting. I really like this one. This is also one that I used to put under my pillow. And again, it has a couple color pages. Yeah, this is just a really cool, like, overview of Chinese culture and, like, history. And this is one that I actually, like, liked the soft cover of, so. I think the rest of my books that are in here are soft covers. I've got, okay, this definitely got water on it, shit. Oh yeah, my cat definitely got water on this. Cool. Whatever, I have another version. The pages look fine though. Well, this was my copy of Frankenstein from when I had to read it in high school. If you didn't know, this is my favorite book. I bought a hardcover that's on the shelf above. But this is the one that, and they made me annotate it, so I had to highlight. I did get away with using sticky notes instead of actually writing in my book, because I hate that. And it's like, there's no margins to write anyway. But I had to highlight when that was like a part of the grade, which I hate it when they have you do that. But whatever, it was a cheap soft cover. I did have to read 1984 for my class as well, but I believe I read that one online, so that's why I bought this hardcover. With both the stories, because I was never made to read Animal Farm, actually, surprisingly. Ooh, I've got the annotated Alice Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Another one of my favorite books of all time. I love Alice. I bought a hardcover of this book, so I have 2 copies of this book. And I got them both from the same used bookstore, but like a year apart. Girl with a Pearl Earring. This one, this is so interesting because this is one of my favorite paintings of all time. She's so whimsical. I don't know, there's something about her. I've bought in so many pairs of like the big pearl earrings just because I don't know. There's something about her. But this is like a historical fiction, kind of like the background of the painting. It's not real, like someone just made it up, but I liked it. It was pretty good. It is a straight like romance, so it's not, straight people aren't usually my thing, but I didn't hate it. Sorry. I've got this one, The Greek Way. If you didn't know, I grew up in a Greek church, so I very much grew up surrounded by Greek culture. It's a big part of my childhood. And I honestly can't remember where I got this book from. But yeah, I think I remember this book being very like Greek Orthodox related. I might be thinking of my Greek cookbook, which is, I'm also going to show you that because I have a couple cookbooks I have here with me. But yeah, and then I've also got some of these 100 verses from old Japan. So like a little Japan kind of like guidebook almost. Like it goes over some of the cities and main attractions. Yeah, it's really cute. I honestly don't remember where I got this from. I think I got both of these from family members. Not as gifts, I think they were just like kind of given to me. I do also have a little like a haiku book. Specifically, oh there we go. Specifically about cats. This one I bought at like a bookstore because I thought it was cute. I should have tried to fit this in here, to be honest. It's kind of hard to get though. But yeah, so that's pretty much this basket that is digging into my thighs. Let me show you some of the books I had on my desk, which I've shown these in a video before, so I'm gonna go through these pretty fast. I don't remember which video it was. It was sometime like in the past like month or 2 though, so. My hardcover of Alice in Wonderland, which they did do this annoying ass thing, which I hate, but it's fine. But I gotta have my hardcover and it's green, so I like that. Although the actual book isn't, but it's fine. It's fine. My Greek cookbook that I was talking about. Love. I got this from my grandma's house. And this one's like specifically like Greek Orthodox, which is what I grew up as, so these are like the recipes that we would use in our festivals and stuff, and like for different receptions after like during certain times of the year. This one is a Spanish poet. His poetry was translated to English. I love it. I know it's like translated, so this isn't in the original language. I honestly kind of wish they had included the Spanish as well, but the language is so gorgeous. They did a really good job. Epistemology. I actually don't remember what this book was. I know I thrifted this one again recently. That's why I have it here, because I thrifted it at the library. Yeah, there's a couple different definitions for it. Like an inquiry, knowledge. I haven't read this one. It's interesting. So that's one of those books that I got for like $2 because it was just like $2 for hardcovers. And I was like, I'll check this out. Dictionary of Plant Names. I love this book. Oh my gosh. I love that I could just kind of look up a lot of the plants that I have as well and kind of see the origins. So cute. So cool. Oh, this is just my poetry book. That's my writing. I love this one. I think I showed this one because it was like one of the books that I got from the library sale. It's Drawing from Nature, so it's a really old art book. And there's literally a message in the front that says Merry Christmas, Teddy from Santa 1982. Is that not the cutest thing? And then The Wild Swans by Hans Christian Andersen. I know I talked about wanting to do a video reading Hans Christian Andersen stories. This will definitely be one of them. Thumbelina and The Princess and the Pea are another two of my like favorite stories from childhood, so those will also be in a video. I'm trying to remember, there's another one that was one of my faves that I'm like blanking on. Oh, I don't remember. It's okay. I know The Ugly Duckling was another one of his stories as well, I also think. Oh, and then the story that inspired Frozen. I don't remember what that one was called though. I think it was just called The Snow Queen. Yeah, I think that was what it was called. Anyway. Ooh, I've also got... Let me show you this little, like... I don't even know what this thing is. I had thrifted this, like... It looks like a harp. But I just put a couple of these books in it. And I got these from different places, which is really funny. I got them at different times, but they're all a part of this, like, modern library, same, like, hardcover that they like to do. One is Marius the Epicurean by Walter Pater. The other is The Iliad of Homer, of course. And then The Complete Poems of Francis Thompson. So, got a poetry book, the freaking Iliad. And then I honestly don't know this Marius the Epicurean one. Thought it looked interesting, so I got it. I like how that's actually the newest. You can see that the Homer one is the oldest. Or the Iliad one, sorry. But yeah, I just think it's funny. I got those all from different places. And I realized, like, after the fact, so I put them together. Alright, let's see. Next shelf. This one right here. You guys haven't seen yet. Can this petal move? Not petal. Can this leaf move out of my way? I've got a couple photo albums in the corner. You won't be seeing those. I also have this box of a lot of my sentimental cards and just like, not souvenirs, but you know, like photo strips, just like little paper things and notes. I like to keep all of that stuff. I have a box at my parents' house that's also full. This is the second box that's full. I just put all my favorites and my most recent ones in there that I wanted to have with me, and then my box at home just has all the rest. I'm gonna need to get a third box soon. I also got these little cute little birdies, bird ceramics that I thrifted. I have some of my stationery stuff pushed in the back as well. Let's see, for books, I have The Witch's Way. Let me just show you these two Everman's pocket library books. I've got Sylvia Plath, pretty much literally all of Sylvia Plath's poems, and then these fairy ones, which I still have to read these. I meant to do a video, so if you're interested, I might do a fairy themed video. It took me 4 videos to do all of the Sylvia Plath poems, though. I remember that. Or was it 4 or 3? And I did that like 2 years ago, I want to say. But yeah, so we'll see. That was a long process. Oh yeah, so I have some books here that I brought from home more recently. And some that I bought while I was in college, like The Witch's Way one. I like these little spellcraft books. I think they're cute. have another one that I had read for a couple videos, but I don't like it as much as this one, and they're kind of repetitive, similar stuff. So I want to sell the other one. That just reminded me. Between Shades of Grey. Listen, this is another historical fiction book. And this has to do with, like, what is it? She's from Lithuania. And their family gets sent to Siberia, which was like a whole thing that happened during World War II, I believe. No, or was that before? I know it had to do with like Stalin and the whole, you know, it's like a 20 million people genocide. It was insane. And it's not really talked about that much. I haven't actually read this book yet. I've had this for such a long time because my mom got it from one of those like free library programs. She'd gotten me like a couple books that she just, I don't know. My mom's very active at the library. She'll get those like little free passes to go to like the botanical gardens and like the museum and stuff, which I love. By the way, yeah, go to your local library. You can literally like go to science centers and museums and like aquariums and stuff for free because you can just score free tickets. Those are my favorite places to go personally. So, but yeah, I've been meaning to read this one. It has a really gorgeous cover too. That was originally why I like looked at it again when I went back home recently, and then I read the back and I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting. I'm usually not a huge fiction girly unless it's like a fairy tale, more like mythology kind of, because I like my poetry and my science fiction books. Sorry, not science fiction, my science non-fiction books. But I've been wanting to get into fiction a little more because, I mean, I love to read fanfics. So, obviously, I do like works of fiction. I'm not good at like sitting down with a book. That's fiction, I suppose. I like to read stories that involve characters that I've seen in a show or media, etc. But yeah, this one's Chinese Cinderella. This is another one that I need to read. So I've heard this one's pretty good, and I mean, it looks really short. These are like big font books to me. This is a big font, so I could read this easily in like 2 hours probably. Oh my gosh, that's my thing. I kind of tend to avoid those kinds of books, but I already own it, so I may as well read it. Like, this one's huge. This one I kind of want to read for a video because I read the Grimm's fairy tale version of the 12 Dancing Princesses. This is one of my favorites. I love this one. I also love this cover. Oh, I just love this book. But yeah, this one just goes into more detail, pretty much. Don't know who... Okay, so someone just kind of expanded on this story. Keep the girlies' names, because they don't have names in the original fairy tale. It's just the eldest and youngest, and then the other ones aren't even like ever mentioned. But they're there, because there's 12 of them. A Voyage from Ireland. Okay, so I like my historical fiction. Sue me. I guess I do. Because it's like the only fiction that I'm like pulling out right now. Or like modern fiction, I suppose I should say, and not like the classics. Because I love gothic fiction. Okay, back to this one. This one was what really taught me about like the Irish famine and kind of that whole struggle that the Irish people went through, because yeah, I mean, it's from the POV of this girl who has to immigrate from Ireland to America and all the shit that she went through. Lord knows. So it's like, yeah, it was sad, but also, I mean, it was a really good book. I liked it. Now this was one of my favorites, The Witch of Blackbird Pond. This one was so good. Won a little award thing for a reason. Gorgeous cover also. That's a care of this book. I've surprisingly never like cracked the spine. But yeah, I remember she grew up in an island of Barbados, and she had to move to New England. This one says they live in a colony of Connecticut. But yeah, I'm like pretty sure she goes like across the sea. Oh yeah, and then she has to like live in like the puritanical lifestyle. That wouldn't be for me personally. I would hate to get thrown into that. And she makes friends with this older woman who lives in the woods, who everyone accuses of being a witch, and then she kind of has to deal with also by association being accused of being a witch as well. So it happens when you're around a bunch of religious freaks, dude. But I really like this one, and it's the words are pretty big too, but it's such an interesting way that they do, yeah, the spacing. But I really liked it when I was younger. Like, this was good for like elementary school me / middle school me. Like, I fucked with it. A classic, Valley of the Dolls, an oldie but a goodie. It's even got like the actually like authentically fucked up pages. It's got the graying and everything. I don't remember where I got this book from. Did I thrift it? I don't think I would have gotten it at like a used book sale at like a church or something. Like, I got this back when I was probably in middle school. I've had this for a while. This was just a good book. But yeah. What else we got? Kissing the Witch. I read this book to you guys over the span of what, like 4 videos or something as well. This was really good. They were definitely Grimm's fairy tale vibes. Oh my god, but a little more detailed. And I loved the way that they tied in all the stories. But yeah, they had like, they didn't call them, the stories are based off of a lot of the Grimm's tales, like Snow White and Cinderella, Rapunzel, but they don't call them that. And they changed the plot, and they tie them all in together, which was so cool. Really liked this book a lot. I would 10 out of 10 recommend. Me trying to put these back in and not create an avalanche. Yeah. Anyway, so up to the next level, which I'm not gonna pull every single one of these books out. I already showed you a ton. But like I said, those are all my black, red, and white books. I've got Tomie, Uzumaki, Kyo, Ramina. Those are all like Junjito books. I'm No Longer Human. I think that one's Mimi's Tales. And then I have the manga series, The Girl from the Other Side, which is really cute, very like fairy tale. Oh, hi! My cat's like reaching out his paw to me. He's sleeping on my chair. He's being really cute. Yeah. I love that. I love that series. So cute. I even have like the art book right here. And then I just have a couple like short story books as well. Like the Little Book of Horrors, The Damnable Tales, like a folk horror anthology book. And then I have Plain Bad Heroines, which is, hold on, I moved my pretty swan. See, this is another fiction book. This is a more modern, like gothic fiction book. that I found at the bookstore, and it looks really cool. And I haven't fully finished it yet, actually. I have so many books on my TBR. It's a thickie. I used to bring this around in my freaking bag, and it was so heavy. I love how the bottom says, recommended for fans of queer kissing, Victorian romance, ghost stories, and Hollywood hijinks. I was like, oh, I fuck with that. But yeah. I just bought that one at the bookstore. I think it was like a staff choice, so I didn't really know much about it. Just what it had on the cover, basically. Oh, and then I have in the corner Japanese Myths and Tales, and it's like the Barnes & Noble's edition of that. And then my little handful of my mini books. Love these. Got a first aid book. I'm not first aid CPR certified anymore. I used to be CPR certified as well. Those expire. I have to like retake those courses. I have Love Poems of Catalyst. I actually didn't fuck with this book. I read this during one of my cemetery videos, and I was like, what am I reading? I don't know. They're not all bad. There was just a couple poems in here that I really did not like very much, but I love to collect my poetry books. That's okay. I have my cat poems book. Loki should have read this for my cat's birthday. Don't know why I didn't. That will be 2 books I specifically have of cat poetry. On Tyranny. 20 Lessons from the 20th Century. Yeah. This is like, they usually have this in like the banned book section, which is how I saw it. I'm not even gonna get into that right now. Stolen Sharpie Revolution. You guys, I'm obsessed with Zines. This is like all about Zines. And it's just so cool. I've talked about doing a whole video on that, and I haven't yet. Narrow Road to the Interior. See, this was really cool. This was like a little writings book. Because the guy who wrote this is like known as one of the greatest haiku poets. Yeah. Oh, I just keep flipping through these pages. I love there's like a couple little illustrations in here. It's so cute. I love this. I got this at a used bookstore. And then I have this English to Japanese conversation dictionary. So you're definitely getting the aesthetic of or the vibe of the books that I have. Oh my gosh. I put my little like silver heart thing in there, so I keep like bumping into it. Wait, I put some cat whiskers in here. There's like dirt in here with the necklaces and stuff. My cat used to like knock this off of my table that I had it on, so I moved it over here. Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna pause really quick and put some of the books back. Okay, now we're back. Now we'll get into this next shelf right here, which I've got like a plant in the corner that's taking up a lot of space, and just some other things. Multiple plants. But I have in the corner the complete fiction of H.P. Lovecraft, so that is all of H.P. Lovecraft's stories. I have the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe, so everything he's written. Dream of the Red Chamber, which is like a classic Chinese novel that's translated to English. The Brothers Grimm, the complete works of those fairy tales, which just did a video reading a bunch from that. My hardcover of Frankenstein, gorgeous. I love this book. I have Dracula. Let me move this over. I've got my hardcover of Carmilla, which I read that book for you guys. One of my favorites. And then I have this book called The Vampire, and it kind of goes into the history of the vampire in fiction, because it's definitely a very it's more modern, like we're talking 1800s and future. I had that book. I read a lot of that book when I was on the plane on my last trip. Alright, and then we have the top shelf, which will be a little harder to show. The top shelf is more a mix of my books, I would say. Because I've got a cooking book up there, I've got my physics book. Yeah. I don't really have any way of showing you guys because I can't pick up this whole thing. So I'll have to like bring a couple down to show you. Okay, so let's go through these last couple books. And I have a whole pile. But we're gonna be quick. I've got The Best in American Cooking, which is another cookbook. I have a ton more at home. I don't know why I have this one specifically with me, but this is one of my favorites. The Complete Guide to Modern Knitting and Crocheting. Such a cute thrift find. Like, it's so detailed. It's got patterns and stuff in here. I love it. I've got, this is a physics book, Everyday Science at the Speed of Light. Another one, The Book of the Cosmos, Imagining the Universe. I have another one called The Great Design that I didn't bring up here with me for some reason. The Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath. One of my favorite poets, so obviously I had to get this. I do really want to get The Bell Jar as well. There's a copy that I want. As for other books, I know I've been wanting to get The Yellow Wallpaper. Oh, there was a book I wanted to talk about when I was pointing out. It's one of my other ones. But yeah, I want to get The Bell Jar. I have The Complete Stories of Franz Kafka. I was just about to say I want to get The Metamorphosis, but that is literally in this book. So this was a good find because I'd been wanting to get all of his works. But yeah, page 89 has The Metamorphosis in it, so. I've got the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. This one's really cute. I read this one in one of my cemetery videos for you guys. The Art of War and Other Classics of Eastern Philosophy, which Eastern philosophy is one of my main interests, so that was a good one. Because I believe I got that one. I believe I thrifted that one. Definitely thrifted this one, Japanese haiku book. I have so many haiku books. I have Zen Buddhism selected writings of this Dr. Suzuki, I believe. Not sure how to say this person's name, but yeah. I've got this Sources of Japanese Tradition. This is volume 2. I got this at one of those library book sales. Wish I could also have had volume 1, but I'm not really planning to go out of my way to get it. I've got Western Forests. Literally all of this is literally the whole area right here is where I'd be interested in moving. Why are people out and about? It's like 2 a.m. The Art of Hand Lettering. I know I showed this one. This one's so cool. Like the fact that it literally has the fonts and stuff in here. And then these two wildflower books. This one's for your garden, and this one's just Rocky Mountain wildflowers. And this one has pictures and stuff in it. Yeah. so that should be all the books that I have in my room currently. And yeah, I love all of these books. They're definitely really good. I don't know, indicator, I guess, of what I'm into. Like, I love fairy tales, I love horror, I love more like gothic books, I like poetry, and I like I like the classics, and I like that I saw my other like scientific interests, like plant and physics and like space related stuff. Yeah, pretty good. But like I said, I've been kind of wanting to look at some more modern fiction books, so if you have recommendations, let me know. I don't know, I'm always gonna live a more like fairy tale gothic vibe to a fiction story, I suppose. And I like a historical fiction too. If you have any like Japanese or Chinese historical fiction books, I'd probably also really like that. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be it for this video. It went on actually longer than I kind of meant for it to, because I kind of wanted to just quickly show you books, but I can't help but ramble. So yeah, let me know. My comment section is always open for book recs. Obviously I still have to make it through like all my TBRs, but like, who doesn't, honestly? But yeah, and there's a couple books I showed in another video that I checked out from the library. It was just like 4 that I still need to make my way through. So yeah, I've got a lot to read, but I'm happy about it. Alright, good night.